it's gonna do it. Wow, that is awesome. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. And so, yes! 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 Oh my gosh, you guys! Oh my gosh, it did it! Alright, welcome back everybody to another episode of now Teslafy full self-driving beta. Finally made it onto 10.69.3.2. 69.3 is a major update from 69.2 masked as a lower one. So I'm sure a lot of you, if you are watching this, you're probably familiar with some of that, but I just wanted to let y'all know that it's bigger than what it is, if you hadn't heard that already. So we should be getting V11 finally, again, a single stack combining highway. Right now you can only use autopilot on the highway, but you'll be able to use FSD on the highway with V11, along with probably some other things. So that's going to be an interesting one, because it's exciting that it's finally going to be a single stack and there will be no more switching between FSD and autopilot. But I would wager there is going to be some bugs that are going to be introduced because of that combining of tech. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not fully understanding, but I would wager that there is going to be some. That said, when I drive on the local highways around here, not the interstates, when I drive on the local highways, it is actually very good. So anyway, we got our first snow this week that stuck around yesterday. Of course, I got it as we were getting the update, or I was waiting for the update to finally pull through. The roads aren't great, but they're not terrible either. So we're going to give our loop a shot and see what happens. I don't actually have high expectations, because last year's snow was pretty terrible and I had a hard time getting around. But, you know, maybe Tesla has made some improvements as far as... I know there's been some improvements when there's no lane lines and that sort of thing. I am going to try and, whoa, already sliding a bit. So that's like the major thing, I think, that's going to be the issue with driving in not great road conditions with autopilot, is it just doesn't have that wherewithal or whatever, the programming built in to say, hey, these roads are in not great shape right now, and I might need to take this corner slower, I might need to adjust my maneuvering, etc. So, okay, so this road's nice and clear, which will be great. I'm thinking that most of my main roads for my loop should be fine, but we'll see. We got our first unprotected left coming up. Really excited about unprotected lefts. Again, a continued improvement, so I'm really excited to see what happens here. And from my interpretation of 69.3's, stop for this guy. Gosh, that's another thing that I've noticed. Okay, so that was a great left, actually. But this creep right up, especially if somebody's making that left in front of you, it still makes me really nervous as a pilot. And the driver of that truck was also kind of giving me, hey, what are you doing? You're still creeping forward. So we got a green, so we don't need to stop here. And yep, we're still missing that yellow line. They've taken away our report button now, so that's not something that I can do anymore. So I will have to manually email in. It's just FSD beta, I believe, at tesla.com if you want to manually send in information. Luckily with a video I can send that. I can give them this link, etc., date, time of the occurrence. So I'll assume they, still get obviously all the disengagement data, but I have no way to manually say, hey, take a look at this. I'm making a quick detour here at the library, dropping some books off and picking some up, and then we'll resume. All right, got our books from the library, turned our other ones in, and we're going to be back on route here. Patron your local library, lots of good free stuff, including books on CD or digital, whatever, right? So you can listen to it in your Tesla. Whoa, slowing down here, pretty heavy for this intersection. That was an issue with the last version as well. It's strange because there's obviously no light, there's no stop sign, etc. So, right blinker there as we're moving into the left lane. That's not awkward either. Go ahead and go. Okay. It's already backed up. So they redid this intersection for us. If you've seen any of my previous test videos, this was always another kind of awkward thing, but the city has removed the awkwardness, not Tesla. So, yeah. Plenty of lead cars here through this next kind of awkward yield to a roundabout. So that should be fine, though it can mistakenly keep going when it actually does need to yield to the car. So we will see how we do. Looks like we're fifth in line here. We really don't need a blinker, but whatever. We got cars behind us too, so I'm not really going to take too much time. We should be fine and good to go because there are no cars coming through the roundabout. All right. So that could have been a gimme. That's something that I'll probably have to do some more in-depth testing, especially as the weather gets nicer or the roads clear up a bit. It's something I've always kind of wondered. I've seen it yield appropriately, but I've also had some issues where it just was not going to. Okay, so we're getting this lane probably for speed reasons rather than the actual route, which is fine for the route's sake. We are in the chill profile, which should reduce the number of lane changes FSD chooses to use. And this is unnecessary too, but we'll let it do its thing and basically just sped ahead of the postman. Okay, so luckily, you know, roads aren't bad, and we'll be able to get, looks like, a decent loop drive out of this. One thing I can certainly say, after having experienced winter last year, is that if this is your first year with a Tesla and you're anywhere near inclement weather for the winter, this is definitely the best car I've ever owned for winter driving. Now, I did buy Tesla's Gemini wheels, winter wheel set, which, yes, the Geminis do fit, and those have just been phenomenal for the snow. Last year we had some of the worst snow I've seen in my life here in this city, and it handled it like a champ. No traction issues, you know, getting around, etc. Even in the some of the deepest snow. Obviously, you still have to drive cautiously, right? It's not a tank, but it has traction for days, especially when you're, you know, not taking corners crazy, etc. You know, driving like you should, but very responsive. And no worries about getting stuck or climbing anywhere. I will be happy to drive it again this winter. I do actually have an appointment to go get my trunk fixed, my rear end. I was in an accident several weeks back now, and in a couple of weeks I'm headed to Bellevue to drop my car off for who knows how long to have that repaired. So I will be taking this over a couple of mountain passes here in Washington, which can get really treacherous. But again, with the confidence that I have with this car, I'm really not worried about it at all. All right, coming up on Orondo Avenue. Orondo Avenue is what has been our beginning of the Pybus Challenge. At the bottom of Orondo here, we have a public market. There is a lane that we're in right now that is right turn only. It is not marked. Oh, it is marked in the road, but there's no nothing on the map or anything to indicate. And I've had hit and miss. Even with the last version that I received, it would do it sometimes and not others. I've tested it numerous times, and we might do a few loops if it fails here again, but we shall see. But we do need to get over into the left lane, because it's the left lane that goes straight to the market that we see in front of us, the bottom of the hill. Okay, so we'll see if it preemptively does it. Oh, look at that. That is awesome. So this is a perfect behavior, and the only time I've ever seen it do it without me interfering is when there is a lead car, and the lead car gets in this left lane, or for whatever reason it forces us over. So this is phenomenal, right? This is exactly what we need to see. And so far, this is a zero takeover drive, which is perfect. So I'll let it move into the lot here, and then we will go forward. So it's going to the line. So I will intervene there, but not take over. And I will stop here. So this is the halfway point of our loop. So that is phenomenal. And you know what? For testing purposes, we're going to do it again. So I let it make its way all the way over here, which is fantastic. I'm going to go for another quick loop here and see if I can repeat the behavior, because it's been so inconsistent. All right, coming in at the top of Rondo again here for take 2 of the Pybus Challenge. Okay, you know, that's good. I think in years past it would have, or in versions past I should say, it would have actually gone through that yellow light. So we're good to go here. I'm going to go ahead and actually give it accelerator to let it know it's okay. I could have maybe let that one play out. I don't think I had any cars behind me, but I'm impatient. So we'll see. So again, here we are, public market at the bottom, and let's see if the car automatically moves over into the appropriate lane. Okay, so we have a challenge. We've got a van here. Oh, and it is taking a left. Okay, get over. Yes. All right. It is phenomenal. It is really, really good. So we're going to go ahead and that's 2 times. Should we do a third? I think we might want to do a third, because I've never had it do it 2 times in a row. Let's see if we can go for 3. Oh, we need to go to Pybus. Can I get there? Perfect. That was quick routing. But here we are. We're at the top of Rondo again. And we're going to try the Pybus Challenge for a 3rd time, just to prove that it knows what it's doing, and that we can call the Pybus Challenge officially solved. Okay, really hoofing it down the hill here. Yes, yes. All right. So 3 for 3. That is phenomenal. Again, if you're brand new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you have seen, if you're not new to the channel, you know how many times we have done that this route, and this is the pinnacle of the route. It all comes up to the Pybus Market Challenge, and it has made it. Once we celebrated that, I promised that if it actually made the Pybus Challenge and made it to the market, I would go into Mike's Meat, so you can see that episode up here. I believe that was resolved in 10.69. I forget which, it was probably 1.2, whatever that was that I ended up getting. And it made it, but in subsequent versions, it's been super hit and miss, and more miss than hit. And as I was explaining earlier, occasionally it seemed like it needed a lead car in order, or some sort of block from that, to basically force it out of that right lane into the left lane. But we can now say it knows what it's doing, and Tesla has resolved the Pybus Challenge. So that is so exciting. And it's one of those things that should be pretty easy, but it's an unmarked turn only lane, with the exception of it's on the road. So I'm wondering if it's finally reading markings on the road and recognizing that that's what they are, or if it was a map data thing. I can't say for sure, but like I said, it was kind of the pinnacle of my loop. So there's still a few challenges left, specifically the bridge and its kind of merging behavior. Anticipation is kind of my big one for this loop. And so that's really exciting. Okay, so we don't need to creep up all the way. I'm going to go ahead, and since we've got so many folks behind us, go ahead and hit the accelerator to let it know it's okay to proceed. Okay, so here's our next unprotected left. And this can be a challenge depending on traffic. But multiple times I've been through here on my test loop, it has not presented much of a challenge at all. So I'm going to let it do its thing, and yeah, that was a gimme. It really doesn't get easier than that. All right, so next we'll be getting on the bridge. Usually doesn't struggle with that, so I think we'll be fine. The one thing I would like to see, and hopefully we'll see here today, is it anticipates needing to get into the right lane here in order to merge onto the bridge. What it's done in the past is zipper merge, for lack of a better term, which again is great. I endorse the zipper merge to the fullest. However, this is more of a lane change and kind of anticipating traffic. We'll see. So we can even see here that we're kind of backed up at 4 o'clock to get onto the bridge, and we do need to be in this right-hand lane. So my guess is we're going to see more closer to a zipper merge behavior, which we've seen in the past, where it's going to go through this lane, this light, and we're going to have to, it's going to do it. Wow, that is awesome. So another big win. This is perfect and what I would have loved to see. So yes, that's outstanding. Outstanding. Way to go, Tesla. I'm very impressed. I heard great things, and I really tried to taper my expectations. But here's the next challenge. We're not through the weeds yet. The bridge is the next big challenge. I'm hoping that we will get into the left-hand lane, which we'll see up here. There'll be no hesitation as we roll through this lane because we don't have to merge. But it makes a move to the left-hand lane. It should stay in the left-hand lane because we need to make an exit that's on the outermost or the leftmost portion of the exit. So we should be in this middle lane. Let's see. It does say we have an upcoming lane change. we will see when it chooses to make that lane change. This Audi next to us is, okay, speeding by. So now if it wants to move in, it should. Okay, perfect. Now, stay in this lane. Middle lane in. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh, it did it. No, stay in this lane. You guys, oh my gosh. That, oh, wow. Yes, I mean, it's, I can't. Woo! That's how it's done. Yes, that's exactly how I would do it. Oh man, that's I'm so glad I decided to go for this drive today. Like I was thinking about pass on, and the roads are going to be kind of crappy still, but I really wanted to get out and do some testing. There goes the local police there, so that was setting off the detector video up here. But that is exactly what we want to see. So, you guys, this really is, this has solved some of my chief complaints with beta on my loop. It really, that's phenomenal. Wow. I mean, the Pybus obviously was like, that was like such a great fun thing, but such a dumb thing as well. You know, I went ahead and gave it some accelerator. But such a dumb thing to miss, right? Because it was just literally in the wrong lane, and it's such an easy, hey, don't be in the right lane. It's a turn-only lane. So it shouldn't have been a challenge. But that bridge is, especially the off-ramp there, being in that middle lane, that's I can say that's more advanced, right? Because we need to be in this left-hand lane in order to be in the outside lane of the turn and the off-ramp, if you will. And all my previous videos, it would be in the right lane, and then it would have, like at the apex of that turn, once it's on the exit, make a move left, which is fine, right? Like, it was awkward. It can see better than I can, but it's just not something anybody around here does. It's not a human thing to do. You can be in that lane to begin with. And it was a little bit wobbly choosing that lane, but, you know, it made it, and it stuck with it the entire... That's just awesome. So it just needs to smooth that out a little bit, and I would love to keep testing that to see if we can see an improved smoothness, but holy shimoly, you guys, I think a lot of the basics that have really provided some challenges are finally resolved with this version. It's incredible. I might have to go back and review the footage here, but I'm almost positive this is a zero takeover drive on my loop, which has never happened. But I don't think I've done any takeovers. All right, so this is a little bit of a different part of my loop end, but you know, it's similar. We still would have had the right there, and then we would have made another left onto Grover up here. But yeah, so this is just phenomenal. I'm really excited about the behavior, and gosh, I mean, to have a zero takeover drive from my test loop it's next level. It's awesome. I'm actually gonna take a right up here, and we're gonna park and quickly chat. Wow. So you know, I'm probably gonna do this test loop again. I probably will try and film it again, but I'm almost positive that was a zero takeover drive, and it really is pretty dang incredible. I'm gonna have to show Brett. You guys maybe have heard him on a couple of episodes, but wow, zero takeovers on my test loop it's unfathomable, really. So if I'm thinking back here, we had an issue near the beginning with a phantom brake at an intersection that didn't really exist. There's some lines on the road that made it look like it was going to be an intersection, and I think the car was being cautious and interpreting those lines. But I didn't have to take over. I didn't have to re-engage. I think I just gave it the acceleration. We made it through the four-way. We had to find yield onto the bridge. We got onto mission and did the Pybus challenge without issue. We had no issues with our unprotected left back onto the avenue. We got into the correct lane before the bridge, like before the intersection, instead of doing a awkward kind of zipper, more closer to a zipper merge. And at an appropriate distance, right? Like there was plenty of room for us to just get in there. It was not awkward at all. We made it across the bridge. It flew through the bridge and made that exit perfectly. And gosh, I'm gonna have to come up with some other interesting things to test. I have some ideas, but that is incredible. A zero takeover on my test loop with just a couple of accelerator confidence boosters there, mostly for traffic. Just absolutely incredible. Like, again, I tried to taper my expectations for this build, but it really is phenomenal. And even with some of the challenges of the snow, that will be interesting as well. I will wrap it up there for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you to all my subscribers and everybody that has come through and liked, commented, and subscribed to my channel. Really appreciate all of you. If you have any ideas for me, and you have been participating and watching my videos, let me know what you thought. Like, are you just as excited as me, or is it just me? It's probably just me. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll wrap it up there. Everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving. That's tomorrow for me. Hopefully I'll cut this video and get it up and loaded. I'm gonna try for tonight because this is awesome. So everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next time. Now, Teslafy.